It was a system that was rigged to exploit the poor and needy and to make the powerful richer. Might sound familiar. It was this corruption, this injustice, this inequity, this exploitation that Jesus was seeking to disrupt by driving the sellers out of the temple courts, because Jesus, our King, God's King, is a righteous and just King, which also means that our God is a righteous and just God. In Scripture, those concepts of righteousness and justice are often intertwined, because righteousness is not just about personal piety or a particular standard of individual moralism. It's about right relationships with God, with each other, with society, with creation. And justice always involves other people. It involves defending the image of godness in everyone, challenging the practices and the processes and the systems and structures that deny or denigrate the divine image in them. In the words of Rowan Williams, the former Archbishop of Canterbury, he said, "Where human dignity is least obvious," and I would add, where human dignity is most dishonored, is most important to make a fuss about it. It's most important to make a fuss about it. So yes, this is about the temple, but it's also about every modern-day system that exploits, excludes, or evades justice. It's about migrant children being forced to represent themselves in court. It's about asylum seekers being snatched off the streets. It's about black mothers dying in childbirth at disproportionate rates and children of color being more likely to grow up poor. It's about billionaires buying influence and tax breaks while stripping support and welfare from those who most need it. It's about denying a person's humanity because of who they are or how they identify. It's about voting rights and health care and housing and clean water and every system that touches human dignity. This is real life. These are not disembodied hypotheticals. These are very real situations of people even in our church. Folks throughout the country and around the world. And if our gospel doesn't speak to those things, it is not the gospel of Jesus. What Jesus was doing here in Luke 19 and entering Jerusalem on the back of a donkey and protesting in the temple, they were very, very political acts of resistance. He was challenging the economic and the religious and the national power structures, the exploiting and self-serving and sinful actions of those who claimed to represent God, because the God they were revealing by their actions was neither compassionate nor righteous nor just. And so I think the question that is posed to us when we become aware of these things is, are we following the parade of empire or the procession of Jesus? Are we following the parade of empire or the procession of Jesus? If Jesus is a compassionate and righteous and just King, what does the gospel of that Jesus have to say to the injustices and inequities and inhumanities and everyday instances of brokenness that we see? And what kind of God will we reveal by our words and deeds? Maybe that's the harder question. What kind of God will we reveal by our words and our deeds? Because here's the thing, friends, allegiance isn't about a pledge we recite, it's a life we live.